public meeting, yeah.
Okay, well, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, looks like we got a lot to cover today, so we'll get rolling. Hearing of visitors. No visitors. Approval of the minutes,
I make a motion
April
to,
9th.
I make a motion to approve.
And I'll second that motion.
Meeting minutes of approved and seconded. Any objections? Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Vouchers.
For the month of April, those expenses on the report total $40,772.46. Fringe benefits was on there, payroll, that was
What's Cintas do for,
Cin-
is that uniforms or?
Cintas is the fire extinguisher inspections, and we also got fire extinguishers for the pavilions, for the kitchen areas in the pavilions. We didn't have fire extinguishers there. So that was a suggestion that the maintenance guys had to get fire extinguishers for the kitchens.
$1,000?
Yeah.
There's quite a few fire extinguishers throughout the park, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
that's-
mean, we have that factory bill and I think it's $15 a piece they charge for
Yeah.
inspection. Wow, pretty many extinguishers.
Mm-hmm. A lot of buildings, yeah.
Pending any more questions, I'll make a motion to approve
Second.
Motion approved, seconded. Everybody in favor?
it. Aye.
Objection? Or anybody not in favor? All right. Commissioner remarks.
I only have one comment, and that's via a request from the public. The citizen reached out to the Board of Commissioners. He was requesting that we evaluate the possibility of locating benches along Switchback Trail from Flagstaff, West Broadway Road Junction up to the breast of the dam area. So I would ask that maybe over the next 60 days, while the guys are out running around on the utility vehicle or something, maybe scout out some locations, and then we could bring it formally to you all for consideration of putting a couple benches up along the trail, so for the older individuals who might want to take breaks and have a little bit of respite as they're walking along.
Now, the one that's there is one, is that like halfway point?
It's a memorial bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right where board bottom is.
Yeah, it is by board bottom.
Yeah, I don't know if it might be like the halfway point, if not close to it, but we could look to put a couple more in.
Like
I know there
two
used to
more,
be one,
quarter of the way and 3/4 of the way, whatever way you start.
Right. Dave, what were they costing, the memorial ones? You remember we had talked about it last year?
Yeah, they're roughly 1,200.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
we're gonna have a banner year at the park this year, revenue-wise.
right.
You know, that's my prediction, so, that's, and if nothing else, again, I'll always go back to PMVB, the Visitor Bureau,
Yeah.
again, because that is promoting tourism and making the trail more accessible and usable by individuals, visitors, and residents alike, so.
So we're thinking about 3 total, so 2 more.
So with the memorial ones, are they sponsored by the people?
Yeah, they're
They wouldn't
donated through the
cost us
family.
anything, Right?
No, they would be donated through the family. Yeah,
That'd be great, yeah.
yeah.
I question on the, just being away and coming back, the one on the the breast, was that taken down for reasons of inspection or?
Fish commission.
Fish and Boat Commission, yeah, required us to take the benches off the top of the dam. I could revisit that with Jerry Woomer.
I would.
What was the rationale?
Something about with
Turbulence if the dam would ever
overtop. it would create a.
I mean, if you go to Locust Lake, it's telephone poles all the way across guardrail poles.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it would create more of like a concentrated flow. It wouldn't be like a sheet flow.
Maybe we can just put a bench that'll wash away. If
Well,
the
that's what
water's
I'm thinking,
coming
a
down.
breakaway bench.
But yeah, I'll revisit that with Jerry Woomer and see if I can get them to reconsider because it was
It's a
nice
beautiful
having the.
spot to
Oh, I
relax
know.
and-
Oh yeah, I know a lot of
you
people
know,
like to sit there in the morning and.
Yeah, and a lot of people miss those benches.
Yeah.
So
I think we should.
it could have been the maintenance guys just didn't want to trim around the benches or something like that.
That was a heavy duty bench. I mean,
Yeah.
people carved it and all, but it was.
I
Yeah.
think it was anchored in though.
It was anchored,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
There was no bunch of that.
Yeah, and the Fish and Boat Commission, they're responsible for the dam maintenance. So yeah, that came from the Fish and
Oh,
Boat
okay.
Commission. But I'll reach out to Jerry Woomer and
Thank you.
see if I can't get him to reconsider.
That's great.
Okay, anything else?
That it? All right, we don't need a motion for the Flagstaff benches. Are we reaching out to people to do a memorial bench?
Well, I do have there is a one in the works right now, two actually, memorial benches, but they have spots picked out where they would like to have the benches. One is at Boat Launch B where he had a mooring space, and then another is by the fishing pier. We lost a bench there. It was a wooden one, so that bench there we have to replace. So the one's going to go at Boat Launch B, and the other is going to go at the fishing pier, at the request of the family because he was involved heavily with fishing and boating. And
Who was that?
his name was Kevin Dahl. He worked for the adult probation office.
Okay.
So the adult probation department, they took up donations amongst themselves, the employees as well as the family had contributed donations, and I believe we're still waiting for a few more donations to come in, and then we would make the purchase and then install them.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But to Earl's point, how are we going about letting people know that it's available?
Well, as far as the
For
memorial benches,
Yeah.
just through word of mouth, really, from people coming to the park and seeing them. We've had inquiries. There's a couple down at the beach area. There's one in front of the first aid station. There's one over by the play equipment. There's a couple at Boat Launch A. There's one by the boat rental, and there's another one
Right.
next to the boat rental. So we haven't really promoted it, advertised it, other than people coming to the park, they see it and they inquire with the office.
So it's word of mouth.
So we do have someone interested. Do you think they would want to place them down there? Or?
Not along the trail. They're more interested in.
So we should put a call out to see if anyone's interested in sponsoring a bench on the trail.
2 benches.
2 benches?
What I'll do, I'll go down on the way back, I'll stop by the beach, take a picture of one, I'll put it on the commissioner's Facebook page, kind of advertising, seeking folks. and
Yeah, to
stuff like
promote
that.
it.
I'll do that, within the next couple of days, that'll get it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're roughly $1,200.
And I'm hoping, Amy Miller was gonna watch this from the Times News today. So Amy, if you're listening to this, we would ask your assistance with, promoting the possibility of memorial benches along the switchback between, Flagstaff Road Junction and Lynch Trail or West Broadway and up to the rest of the dam, so. But I'll talk to
Yeah.
Amy on Thursday also at the commissioners meeting about helping us with a little promotion.
And
Good
Barco
morning, Amy.
Yeah.
Barco Products is who we purchased the benches from, just so that they're all kind of looking the
Yeah,
same
they're
and
uniform.
uniform. Yeah,
Yeah.
Plastic kind of.
they are. Yeah, yep. Yeah, they're.
I don't know if that's gonna outlast pressure treated, to be honest with you.
Right.
Like the bridges on our trail are,
Well, the benches that we have, like that one that you mentioned on the Switchback Trail, that's been there a long time,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
built them, I think, back then.
and it's still in
it's a
good shape.
plastic one.
Oh, yeah, oh, I see.
Yeah.
But the bridges were pressure treated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had to be
Well,
early
when
80s.
we purchased the plastic docks, you know, they promised us 20 years, and look at them.
Oh, yeah,
They're
yeah.
still there.
The other thing I'd like to do, Dave, I just thought about it, just down here on the Lentz Trail, just below where Schaefer's Hill, the music, it used to be there. One of the senior executives from the Pollywood company, right there across the county line in Hometown.
Highwood.
She lives, yeah. I'm gonna reach out to her, again, I'm very close, you know her, actually, Mrs. Carroll, Brendan Carroll's
Okay.
mom. I have a good relationship with her. I'm gonna reach out to her about this also. It may be something they would wanna do as kind of a, corporate sponsor, maybe also.
To donate like plastic decking for the trails.
Or both for the trails and for benching, cause, you know, they tend to do a lot more furniture, I think. But I'll check on both, all right?
Should we consider a picnic table instead of a bench? At one of the locations.
I mean, once you scout it out and see if you have you know, kind of an alcove or something where you could actually put one. But again,
yeah.
let me reach out to her. I'll actually send a formal letter out to her. I'll give her a heads up, then I'll send out a formal letter requesting consideration, all right, to those guys.
All right. Heritage Festival.
Yes, I have on the agenda here Heritage Festival. We have a couple special activity requests, to go over here. Race Street Run, the Powwow Festival. They had canceled it last year, so they're looking to move forward with having their Powwow Festival this year. Some events are moving forward, other events are being postponed until next year. The Hootenanny, I know in Summit Hill was postponed until next year, so I have it on the agenda, so we can make a decision if we feel we want to move forward with the Heritage Festival for this year, so that we could, start to do some planning for it.
I think by September we'll be pretty much in the clear the way things seem to be going.
I agree.
So you'd be in favor of having the festival?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in favor.
All right, and it would be held September 18th would be the date, this year. It's always the weekend, the second Saturday following Labor Day. Is
And
when
it'll
we
be a
have that.
one-day event, of
It-
course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did want to reach out to I forget the name, the Pocono Mountain, the antique engine people.
Missy did reach out to them.
Yeah, but we didn't have a firm date at the time or any,
No,
any
this was
brochures.
a couple
or-
of years ago, Missy reached out to them. The Blue Mountain, it was
Yeah,
Blue Mountain.
Blue Mountain Antique.
Right.
I think they'd really be a good fit for that event.
I could ask her to look into it again.
I
Yeah.
would, yeah, I think that would really draw a nice crowd and it's very interesting. I know I attend a lot of their events and very well organized and a nice crowd and
If I
Would fit in
remember
with the-
correctly, I think it was the issue with the size of the event, like as far as crowd size, for them to set up and have a display. I think there was an issue with that, but I'll have Missy follow up with it.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, they could even set up individual
spread it out.
displays. Pardon?
They can spread it.
Oh, yeah, through the campgrounds.
I go to those too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They really would fit in with the bluegrass kind of theme and
Yeah, it was Blue Mountain. What was the
Blue
exact?
Mountain Antique Engine Club or something like that. They have the little hit and miss engines. They set up their campsite and run
Yep.
the engines, and that's actually pretty neat. I like it. Old lanterns and
Sounds interesting.
yeah, everybody. You ever at one of those, Rick?
No.
They're pretty
No.
pretty
Yeah.
neat.
I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they have the corn husker
Corn
going
husker,
and
yeah.
the water pump and
Yeah, yeah, pumping water. if you go to the West End Fair, they have they're set up there with well, now they have a more permanent thing there, I think, a museum, actually. All right, so, do we need a motion for the Heritage? No?
I don't believe so, no, I mean, you can make a
Well,
Make
motion.
a motion, I make a motion.
Second.
Move forward with the hearing.
Motion made and seconded. Anyone object? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Boating facilities grant.
Yes, we were awarded funding in the amount of $155,500 from the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission through their statewide public access program, formerly the boating facility program. So, and the county would be matching that amount, providing 50% of the total project cost for paving improvements to Boat Launch B, which would be the parking lot, and also a section of the main road, and
Couple
also
kayak racks.
I knew they'd come up.
and also new.
Sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I
That's
thought
all
those
right.
were installed already, I'm sorry.
And also new restrooms there for the. I mean, there'll still be pit latrines, but they're going to be something that's more modern and
Wow.
easier to maintain and more pleasant. And yes, Earl, I did think about the kayak
I
racks
know.
because
I want to touch on that.
if there's money left in the grant, I might.
But I want to touch on that, and I think that we still have time to cancel the purchase of that, right? Of the kayak racks.
We haven't purchased them yet. We submitted a purchase requisition, but we do have to do a budget transfer.
I think that, and I think he's going to get into this. I think at $2,700 for these racks
Oh, is that what they
to
are?
generate only $800 a year in income, plus the labor that's going to put it in. It's going to be 4 years till you see a penny come out of that.
Yeah.
And now I think he's going to get to it. We have broken electric lines, a broken generator, broken grinder pumps.
But-
And I think that should come first. I mean, the kids are going back to school. Maybe we can get the Votech school to prefab some racks or something like that. But $2,700 is a hard
We'll
pill
cut
to.
that in half because we're gonna free up mooring spots for the boats then too.
Right, but it's still going to take 4 years till you see one penny.
2 years.
No, not at $2,700 and
If we have
$800
extra
a
boat
They're only
mooring.
going to take in $800 a year once they're up.
Right.
Plus the labor.
The question is, on Earl's point, will there be enough demand on the boat thing to fill that if we move the kayaks off of the boat rentals? Is there a waiting list, I guess, for the boats?
Well, the mooring's sold out,
Yeah.
So it would do that.
and we did start a wait list in the event that we can get these kayaks installed for this season.
Yeah.
You know, we could look at that wait list, and I think it's $50
What's
for
the
county
number? Yeah,
residents.
it's a numbers game then, and,
Well, the park's not going away.
So you wouldn't really be freeing spaces up for boats. You would just be providing more space for kayaks.
right. Yeah, because if you have a kayak on the mooring, they wanna stay there, they don't wanna move it to the racks probably. But, well, that just comes down to either, a more creative way to find a least smaller expense or lesser expense.
Right, a cheaper
rack,
way of doing it,
or
right.
we increase the
Well,
price.
with the cost of lumber now though, to build them, it would probably, well, I don't see it costing how much.
And then, what you're talking
how
about,
much they
Bob, is
are.
priorities.
Yeah,
of-
$2,700.
Priorities of other tasks that are up
Right.
front too.
Yeah, but I will say, a lot of the maintenance tasks and stuff, it's not an issue of money, it's an issue of time. Right, again, that
Right.
seems to be what we're seeing.
Right now, yeah, until
Yeah.
we get the park up and running and get through the initial, I'll get into that under maintenance of
So
what.
what were we looking at with that 2,800? How many?
Well, we submitted a purchase requisition. We didn't have the funding in that line item. It was
Right.
coming out of recreational supplies. So the thought was we did purchase railings for the docks. Those railings came out of recreational supplies, and that was roughly $2,000. It might have been actually more than $2,000. I don't know off the top of my head, but we purchased 4 railings for the 2 docks to make it easier for people to get in and out of the boats. And that money was actually reimbursed through the
From
P Corps.
Safety grant,
From the
right.
safety grant.
Safety grant.
See, we
Where
purchased,
are the- now,
we
is this
purchased a boat for $17,000 through the P Corps grant, and there was some money left over. So we used that money to get reimbursed for the railings. So the idea was to, when that money went back into the line item, recreational supplies, then we would do the budget transfer to purchase the kayak racks, because you would be transferring, $700 versus $2,000, which,
Yeah.
as Bob pointed out, right now we have some really big expenses. The grinder pumps, the 2 pumps we had to purchase for boat launch A, that was over $4,000, $4,700 some dollars, I believe. We had a sewer line at the extension office that we had to get unblocked. Allstate was in for that. The generator, we did have an issue with the generator where we need to get somebody in to look at that because it didn't function the way it should have when we had a power outage. Yeah, right
Where
now,
are the railings going? I use the docks for the boats.
on the side where they would, they would come in the dock,
Are we talking A or B?
both.
Okay, so if you're looking out at the lake, on this side, which side is the railings going in?
Well, if you're looking at the lake, it would be on the right-hand side where they pull in to dock their boat.
Okay.
So in other
is
words,
The west side.
Is the gate like you could go through the center of it, or how does that?
no, they would be, spread out, so that way it's
So I
not
usually
inter-
put my, my motor and everything
Right,
else, and then
yeah.
I put my motor on there, so it sounds like.
No, there would be space between them,
Okay.
so in other words, people could still load and unload their boat. It would
Yeah.
just be something for them to kind of
I'm just curious of the
steady
layout of
themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's an ADA issue,
Right, yeah.
yeah,
How,
okay.
how about a memorial kayak rack?
Well, that's a good, I'm looking at a creative way, like Earl is saying, and Bob had put it forth too, is there, more creative way, and if, have a memorial, if we're doing benches.
A bench is probably close to $1,000.
What are roughly $1,200 for the
Yeah.
memorial benches?
yeah, that's with wood. Now, if he's talking about going to the synthetic plastic, like he's gonna reach out to, up there, those are a lot more. Believe it or not, that artificial wood is like 3 times the cost of real wood.
So
And with the
how many
boat-
rack, for this 2,800, how many?
There would be 3 kayak racks, and they would have 6. They would hold 6 kayaks or
Okay.
canoes each. Total of 18.
Yeah.
For
Well, I mean,
2,700.
We had a fight years ago to get the cabins in, they said to the commissioners, there's gonna be a return on investment here, and, they weren't buying it, but we won that, and look at it today.
Yeah, they're
You know,
paid
so
off.
as Earl said, whatever we're paying, it's a long-term
Yeah, it's not-
return on investment.
Yeah.
But I think there might be alternative,
Well, you mentioned the boating facility grant. Now, if we come under what it was projected and there's money left in that boating facility grant, that would be another option, would be to, reach out to the Fish and Boat Commission. It would probably be just an amendment and get them through the grant. Or we could do a budget transfer once, and the money is, I believe, back in now. The check came in from P Corps for the railings, so it's back in recreational supplies, so I don't have to transfer 2,000, I just have to transfer 700. If we wanna just purchase them, we'll do the budget transfer for $700 or $800 and purchase them.
Yeah,
that would be a better alternative.
yeah. I mean, so it's really only costing you the 700.
Yeah,
Because we're using, yeah.
I would be in favor of that.
I would also, I really would like to see those racks there.
all right, so we'll move forward with the budget transfer and, purchase them, and as soon as we get them, but by then, I would think with the way shipping is on everything, because everything has been taking time to get, our UTV was approved back in January, and we just had that delivered last week. We had to get 2 stoves for the pavilions. Missy was told 3 to 5 days delivery, and then the next thing you know, they're telling her they won't be shipped out till May 21st. Well, we have pavilions rented, so we needed that. Luckily Lowe's and Lehighton had 2 in stock where we were able to get them. But it seems like, with shipping and the delivery times, it's taken a while to get things.
But what would happen if you find out you have to replace the generators, let's say?
Well, that would come out of repairs, maintenance, equipment, the same place that, where the grinder pumps. That money would come out of repairs, maintenance, equipment. I believe we budgeted $8,000.
But there's a chance that you can go over that.
Yeah, you don't know what you're gonna be up against a
Right.
month, 2 months from now.
We have about 600,000 in contingency funds set aside in the budget for, again,
Unforeseen.
unforeseen expenses that come up. Are those Generacs or what type of?
Generac, yeah,
They're Generacs.
yeah.
And who was reached out?
LNS, Missy reached out to LNS, so I have to get an update from her to see whether, because they're the ones that installed it. Now, if
How old are they?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Alright, so I would just recommend, if LNS is slow, reach out to Jimmy Dulce. He's the #1 Generac guy in Carbon, Schuylkill County. Jim's, a very good electrician. He literally he's probably the #1 seller of Generac in the area. So again, if LNS isn't being responsive, reach out to Jimmy Dulce. You can tell him, the commissioners asked you guys to reach out to him. He's very responsive,
Well, it sounds like we're in park maintenance now, so.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that's all right.
Yeah,
We'll
just
we'll just continue a discussion in park maintenance.
So, just to reiterate the plan, so everybody's clear on the kayaks, Dave, what's the direction with that?
Well, I believe that he's wanting to move forward with the purchase requisition and do a budget transfer to take it out of recreational supplies, if I heard correctly.
Do
Yes.
we need a motion on that, or?
You can make a motion.
I'll make a motion to take that approach.
I'll second it.
Was this, again, parliamentary procedure, was this not previously approved? It's just that Bob basically brought up a point of discussion, just asking, I thought.
I
you
think
guys-
we did approve it, didn't we?
I don't know that he's ever took a
No,
motion.
we
on
never
it.
No,
did
we never
that.
had.
It was
We
just,
never
it
did
was
that.
just brought up for
That's why I
discussion.
was
Okay.
trying to
Look
push
at-
it forward or formalize it.
Anybody opposed on that?
Yes,
Bob?
posed.
Yay.
Yay? All in favor?
2-1.
Pumps at Launch A, we talked about, sewer line, we talked about. We did have a pest control issue at cabin 108.
Dave, sorry, the pumps.
Mhm.
Something isn't right with those pumps. We need a recommendation from, are they E1 pumps?
They are.
We've installed lots of E1 pumps, and we're getting 20 years plus service
Mm-hmm.
in heavy use facilities.
Mm-hmm.
Is it lack of use in the winter that's killing these things?
That would, I
Should they
wouldn't
be
be able to
cycled?
answer that.
Maybe they can answer that question, E1.
Yeah, Paul Foley is the sales representative that I deal with.
Cause they rave about their pumps and stainless steel ball bearings and, how they're supposed to
Mhm.
last. It seems like a seal issue and then it gets in there and wrecks the bearings. Is it from sitting idle? I don't
Well,
know.
what would you do, Earl, to, in when it isn't, keep it running, or? would you-
Well, maybe do they stay in the tank over the, can we,
They do, yeah.
is there water that they could be cycled?
Well, they would shut the water off in the wintertime.
Right, to the whole park?
Yeah,
Yeah, but your point, probably non-use is probably the.
And it's
could
costing us how
attribute
many
to the-
pumps a year? 2?
well, we've been
Average?
upgrading a pump station a year, so
8,000 a year, 4,000 a year.
two of them was at roughly $4,700, for these newer model E1 pumps. These are the older ones.
Is it a possibility to keep the water on?
In the wintertime, I wouldn't believe so. No, you'd have, the pipes would freeze. I mean,
Would it be cheaper
That's
to
just
heat
normal.
that pipe chase in there than to buy new pumps every year? And then we'd have bathrooms for people using them in the winter? I don't know, I just think these pumps are failing too
Too quickly.
prematurely.
yeah,
And it's happened a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, that's just part of winterizing the park is, getting the water shut off, draining the lines,
Dave,
the
maybe
bath.
you could reach out to other, you know, park facilities that see what they're doing. And,
Yeah.
you know, in the winter time, if they have the same issues.
with their
Some of
pumps.
your- Some of your peers, yeah, that have similar, situations.
So these are working good at the end of the season, but when you come to
Yeah.
fire them up, that's when they're failing. I mean, you're not finding towels or nothing in there, are you?
No, no, we had that
And the wipes
discussion.
will wipe them out.
Yeah.
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 But no, they're not throwing the champ wipes in there, and you know, it's I don't have an answer for that. You know, I know that you know, some of them need to get, you know, fixed where it needs a new stator, or you know, it's something that isn't major, but some of them need major repairs. This last one here, he said you know, the head was cracked on it, and you know,
Oh, like it might have froze.
yeah. So whether they, you know, bring them in the wintertime and store them somewhere and then reinstall them.
Do we fill the tanks with water for the winter season? Because it's in the ground, it won't freeze. Keep them submersed.
That I don't, you know, I know they have Allstate come in and they clean them out and pump them out, but you know, whether there's water in the pump station, I would have to talk to Jack about that.
Yeah, cause I couldn't see why they couldn't put something similar to what you put in RVs. You can
Right.
put the water back in to a certain level to keep the pump or grinder underneath, whatever the case is. But then you're just using the same stuff that's used in RVs and stuff for
Sure.
winterizing.
Right. And that's what they use for the bathrooms, for the,
Yeah.
you know, the toilets and,
Yeah.
I would recommend, Dave, you do some research on that, maybe ask around and see the alternatives, report back at the next meeting. You know,
Yeah.
Going into the summer now, so we'll have time.
yeah, I could reach out to Ed with Gula with the Jim Thorpe Sewer Department. I mean, I know he was familiar with the pump stations. In fact, he was just out a couple weeks ago. I guess there's going to be some homes that are going in along Lens Trail where they might be tying into the county sewer line there.
I know the whole Chipmunk Ridge development is grinders in there, and I think the individual homeowners become responsible for them after a time period.
Mhm.
That if they fail, they have to replace them. But yeah, I mean, we have them installed in different facilities that are heavy use. Wipes were killing us, but once they took that out of the picture, the pumps, I mean, 20 years is not out of the realm of life expectancy.
Yeah,
Right, that would be better.
I think that's what they say they'll last 20 years.
that's about what they were in there. The 2003, I believe, is when it was.
Oh, the ones that failed?
2003 is when everything was put in.
Yeah, but we've been
Yeah.
replacing pumps all along. I mean, different.
Not replacing. We've been repairing them.
Repairing.
Yeah.
Well, anything else in park maintenance?
Yeah, cabin 108, we did have a pest control issue there, so that has been taken care of. Sites was in and did the pre-treatment, heat treatment and post-treatment, so that was early on in April. Normally, we don't have problems in April. They were the first ones to rent that cabin, so that's been taken care of. Normally, our guys would do the heat treatment, but unfortunately, you know, we just don't have the resources or the time right now. We have two full-time workers and one seasonal maintenance worker. We are advertising for 4 seasonal maintenance help, and there's been an ad in the paper. I did send a recommendation down on one individual. I'm waiting to hear back if he is interested in that position. Food stand is, you know, the doors were replaced, the locks were changed on the food stand. Pam, the new concessionaire, has been down there almost on a daily basis, getting things, you know, prepared for the season. She seems, you know, really excited about the opportunity, and I think she'll do well with the food stand operations. We did order sand, 3 orders of three drops of sand for the beach area. And we're going to get more sand for the volleyball courts. And we did have stone delivered. We had a stone dropped at boat launch A. We have some work to do along the shoreline by the boat rental. And also the road leading up to the switchback trail from Boat Launch A, that needs to be regraded too as well. We need to put stone in there because that has washed out. I know I talked to you, Earl, about, we need to get proper, grading on there so we can get the water moving to where it should be.
Earl used to reclaim the sand of the beach, you still do it?
Yeah, man. No, they do it now, I believe, right?
We
Dave?
still reclaim it,
Yeah,
yeah.
we used to get in there with
No,
that.
we
A lot of it,
appreciated,
too.
yeah, we appreciated that back in the day.
But, as far as, is the stone red that you ended up getting? Did they bring you stone?
Not for the campground roads, no. No, they just got the modified.
Right,
But for the parking areas, I know for the mooring road and the parking lots along Lynch Trail, we did talk about getting red stone for those
well,
lots.
they hit red at the quarry right now, so they have red for the same price as, you wouldn't have to get it from Whitehaven, but
Yeah.
it's not as nice of a red, but I got red delivered, stone delivered, and I'm like, how come it's red? And, they didn't give me a heads up. But
Yeah, and also where the maintenance garage is, I know that, we talked about putting stone down on that lot too, because it's been a long while since we did that, and it gets all, it's
I would
a
do
mess, it's muddy.
modified, stone tends to get plowed right off and,
Yeah,
stone don't hold up too well, unless it's muddy or,
but
But
yeah, the
in park-
modified is what we got for the campground roads and for Boat Launch A and down by the shoreline for the boat rental.
talking about park maintenance, I know it's a little off the subject, but do we have any type of safety program for the workers?
As far as,
Like, do you just have safety meetings?
well, there's a safety committee that Jack serves on the safety committee.
Cause I went by, I don't know when it was, and I saw the guys going on a mower, they don't have safety glasses on, and
On the
should-
riding mower, yeah.
they should be wearing safety glasses.
Yeah, well, I'll bring that to Jack's attention.
And, maybe just have a talk once in a while about safety.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Different
remember
things.
we had, who was the parks, guy, and he was in the Jeep, and do you remember that when it came up and hit him in the,
I don't remember that.
oh, he was a longtime ranger, I forget, very tall guy, but he was going through on a Jeep, and
I do remember that.
the wheel, one of the things came in, and
Right.
it was, long-term.
Yeah, just be, aware of your surroundings and
Right.
you got them mowers now, them blades are spinning on those zero-turn mowers. They can really send a rock or a weed whacker when a car goes by, stop of course, and
Is there anything on a county level, Chris, that, for maintenance, that they have annual safety training?
No, there is not, and again, understanding that there's 3 separate maintenance departments within the county, so there isn't a centralized program. But that is something I think Jack should probably
be aware
bring up,
of.
and bring up at the next safety, committee. Again, once a year, they should be getting all the guys together and doing
Once
a
a month,
safety
like
review.
before
Well, yeah,
the shift.
I mean, normally, right, the soup is gonna go ahead and say, hey, okay, today, hey, this is what we're gonna concentrate on, make sure everyone's wearing eyewear, right? Eyes.
and there's gotta be a penalty if you don't wear it.
Well, this is the pilot in me speaking, I love checklists, so we can have a safety checklist, made. I'm doing that for my rock and roll guys, cause we get to the gig and they're like, I forgot this,
All right, yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
that's what we're doing,
Right.
yeah. Checklists don't fail, and then if they're not there, at least it's in black and white, you have
Yeah.
some leverage if,
Also, you could get an insurance reduction if you show that you have a safety program in place,
And we just had P-Corps, who's our insurance provider, out at the animal shelter, for example. Again, to relook at it, see what we're doing well, what we're not doing well, to help, obviously mitigate some of the risks. Again, to keep our insurance rates down, if nothing else, not reducing.
Right.
I have a question for the commissioner while we're on maintenance. You use work release inmates up here when you can, right?
It was requested.
Yeah, and I was about to get into that. We just did have them in for cleaning out the firings and the
Yeah, and
hibachis.
it is a volunteer program, unfortunately, I would say.
Right, I wanna touch on something like that. Now, I don't know how Carbon County has it set up, but like, if you get arrested for something, the judge gives you community service, right? Can you reach out, because my understanding is the work release guy, he came to the end of the line, he got a job, and now he's not available anymore. But these guys, like, that have community service, can the probation department have them do their community service doing odds and ends up here?
Okay, I'll talk to Rick Parsons. Again, I'll get some insight on how the judge determines community service, and if there's any specificity, or does the adult probation office have some flexibility for recommendations or directing individuals with community service. So I'll talk to Rick Parsons. He's the head of adult probation.
Yeah, we should be on their list down there, because I know from time to time we'll get a referral from adult probation.
Okay, yep.
You know, through, I think there's a veterans program.
Yep.
So we've had from time to time.
Veterans Treatment Court, yeah.
Yep.
But I'll give Rick a reminder, and I'll come back next meeting and see what he has to say.
So yeah, unfortunately, as Bob pointed out, we did have work release in this week.
Yeah.
And Tuesday, Wednesday, yesterday, today is his last. We have him until he has to be back at 1 o'clock. And I guess they had one that was talking with the work release director. They have one that's outdoor eligible.
Right, yeah.
And that's it at this point in time. Now maybe as things progress, he'll have more people available to us, which he said he would reach out to us, you know, when he does. But today would be the last for the work release individual that we had in this week, helping going through cleaning out all the firings and also the hibachis in the picnic area. We want to get that done too.
Do we team up with any Boy Scout groups or anything to, earn badges?
Oh, yeah, when they reach out to us, I think unfortunately the scout troops, their numbers,
Diminishing.
are diminishing.
I remember they used to, one thing they did was, the fishing line things. I think they did it for a scout
Right.
project so that birds and all wouldn't get wrapped up and had to put your line in that.
So yeah, we do have scout troops that help from time to time. There's one that from Jim Thorpe. They camp with us every year. They've done stuff for the park.
Is that it for park maintenance?
I think so. Other than, we did have to do wiring at the admissions booth. Jack was a couple of days there working with the IT department for the wiring at the office and also at the admissions booth. I guess there's a device at the office and at the admissions booth, it kind of faces one another, so that way you can get a signal. This is for the credit card transactions, for the booth for this upcoming season. Still haven't gotten the device that we're using. I think there's been a change of plans where now they're going with something where it can actually print out a receipt, so we can hand them a receipt at the booth. So there's been a couple changes in how the county is going to approach this. So hopefully, either sometime next week, I believe they do have it, the device, so that we can get it out there, get it installed, and get familiar with it for opening weekend, Memorial Day weekend.
Bob, what was the electrical issue you were referring to there?
There was an electric line that had to be replaced, right?
That was with the pump stations. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Right.
In addition to the pumps, there's a wiring issue where they have to run a new line, the line that feeds the pumps from the restroom to the pumps. There's an issue there somewhere.
And then it was the grinder pumps, and on opening day of camping, I guess the power went out. Everybody's here trying to go camping, and the generators failed to start, so he had a rough time.
Yeah. But that wire now, is it in a conduit?
Mm-hmm.
It is?
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of pulling the wire?
Pulling the wire through. Yeah.
Well, what would happen to a wire in a conduit? I can't see how it would fail.
I have no idea, Earl.
Have an electrician looking at it, or
Jack, yeah.
because it sounds to me you lost one leg. If you have 110 or 120,
240 it was at the building, and 120 at the pump end is what Jack was telling me.
right? So you lost one. I mean, sometimes a breaker can give you that effect. Half of a breaker can fail, and they do that, especially in the winter when they're not being used. Maybe just to test it at both poles on the breaker, see that they're putting out 120. Should be a fairly simple troubleshoot. Maybe it's not the wire. You could check for continuity on the wire also, but it sounds to me like you lost one side of it. You know, I wouldn't think the wire would fail, especially if it's in a conduit.
Yeah, I'll have Jack look into it again. He does
Yeah.
all the electrical work.
Right. Well, then he probably knows what to look for.
Yeah.
But I've had several instances where, and especially if it's a GFI breaker, probably is.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They seem to fail. I don't know. I would check the breaker. I guess Jack knows what to.
Yeah, it would be his. You know, he's
Just seems
experienced
odd
with
that the
electrical
wire
work.
would fail, you know. But anyhow. Okay, is that it for park maintenance?
We talked about work release. There was a temporary access road agreement that the county entered into with PP&L. That's for they're going to be replacing the transmission lines here. They were talking about this year that it would happen. I haven't heard anything in a while, but the county, they were having problems getting the highway occupancy permit from PennDOT off of Lentz Trail where the towers are. So they needed an alternate route to get in to do the work, and they requested that the county provide them with temporary access off of the driveway here at the environmental center to get to the work site, you know, for construction.
Will they be doing tree cutting or anything to get in there?
They didn't indicate. I mean, they did say if there is any tree cutting, that they'll restore the property back to the original state when they're complete.
I've been seeing a lot of them corduroy roads they put in anymore.
Yeah, and we did.
Lots of it.
Speaking
You
of
wonder
tree,
how they coordinate all of that cribbing. I saw it going up and over a mountain.
Wow.
Tractor trailer loads of, just so they can maneuver. It's amazing.
speaking of tree cutting, we did get the trees trimmed at the end of Lentz Trail there.
I saw that.
I did get a call yesterday from a gentleman thanking the park for getting on that. He happened to work for PennDOT for many years, working line of sight issues and stuff. So he was very appreciative that that was done. He called me yesterday.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, that was a quick fix. So I think we
Yeah.
went down there. I think it was that day or the following Monday after the meeting, and they took care of it.
Nice.
Security, we did hire a few seasonal park ranger ones, and I am working on the scheduling for June. Mark Janner was a change of status from seasonal park ranger 1 to lead seasonal park ranger 1. So the new seasonal ranger ones, he's been working with them in the evenings, at nights, getting them familiar with the evening routine and patrols. Lifeguards, we do have 3 that are in the works. I did get word now that one is not returning next year. She has a surgery scheduled, and her recovery time, she won't be able to work with us this upcoming season. Looking for availability. I did send the schedule out for Memorial Day weekend. I got word from another that he's not able to work until after June 27th because he's graduating and has senior activities. So I did reach out to him and I asked about weekends. Can we get some help on weekends?
Right.
And he did indicate that he would be willing to help us out on weekends. So I'm going through some availability issues and also, with the ones that we have in the works, I can't do anything with their application until they're actually done the training, the lifeguard training. The lifeguard training is this week. And then I also need their clearances. I can't do anything with their application until I have their 3 clearances, and also I have the proof that they passed their lifeguard training course. So I have been reaching out to them and keeping after them about getting their clearances, so that way they have the clearances, and once they're done with the training, we could get them hired and scheduled right away.
And that gives you a total of how many?
Right now, well, we have, let me see here. 2, 3, We did have 6, 5. We had 6, dropped to 5. Now with the 3, if we have those 3, it would be 8.
Oh, okay, so
So-
you're in good shape then.
So I wouldn't say good shape, but,
But better
better
than it's
shape
been,
than
yeah.
it has been. And it's always been a struggle with the training and the clearances and a lot of these courses. There was another one that she signed up for Bethlehem, to go to Bethlehem at the YMCA for her training. She's not able to go to that now because the school won't let her walk at graduation. She's going to miss graduation practices. So the school will not let her walk in the graduation ceremony if she doesn't go to the practices. So she had to change, and I reached out to her. I gave her the dates for Lehighton Pool. She didn't sign up for Lehighton Pool because she was already signed up in Bethlehem and spent the money. So she didn't want to lose out on the money. But Lehighton Pool was only limited to 10 people. So she may not have gotten in Lehighton because they already reached their quota. So it's just been ongoing with trying to figure out training and reaching out to them to make sure they're keeping up with their clearances. But that's where we're at with the lifeguards.
Well, those clearances are good for 5 years.
Yes.
Right. And where do you send them for that? Do you do it yourself or?
But they do it online. The state police is through, I believe it's ePatch is the website that you go to for the state police criminal background history check. The child abuse history line is another website. Compass, I believe, is the one for the child abuse history clearance. I just did mine actually.
Right,
It's
because
pretty-
they used to do it, he don't do it no more, but that Ucanic or whatever, in Lehighton, they used to do them there, but now they send you down to Allentown on Hanover Avenue.
for the fingerprinting one.
Yeah, and then you get fingerprinted, and I know, because I have to go through that.
Right.
You get fingerprinted, and like within a week and a half, you already get your letter that you're good to go.
Yeah, there's a place
Yeah.
in Pottsville that does the fingerprinting, and I have instructions that the HR department gave me that I send out to the lifeguards.
Schuylkill Haven does it also at the. Is
The
it-
fingerprinting one is the
Right.
trickier one to
I can't
get. The
believe
other ones
local
are
police
straightforward.
departments aren't upgraded with the.
Well, they used to do it. You used to go to the state police and get it done, but the state police, they gave all of that up. Now they send you to these private outfits to
Yeah,
get it.
we have to go to UPS, but last time I went to Schuylkill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, UPS don't do it no more.
No.
No,
Oh,
because
no.
I had to do that 2 years ago. I had to go to
Right.
UPS.
Yeah.
And now they send you to this outfit. Like I said, Ucanic used to do it here at the Carbon Plaza Mall, but he gave it up.
Oh,
So now they send you down to like Hanover Avenue in Allentown to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, once you go there and get it done, you get your paper in like
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah, you need to check with the prison, because the prison does fingerprinting, but I don't know if it's, and again, we do it for certain situations for the public, and there's a fee associated with it. I'll check with the prison board to see what fingerprint clearances
Yeah.
they grant.
It has
Because
to
we
be
get
that
folks up
electronic
there all the
scan or
time
something.
for the live scan and doing the fingerprints and
Yeah.
stuff, so I'll check on that.
Yeah, Identigo, I believe, is the company that.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Identical.
it. Yep.
All right,
Main-
special activities.
A couple more things. We did issue a citation, for
Sorry.
somebody had rented a cabin and they left it a bit of a mess, so we did issue a citation there on that. That doesn't happen, very often, but when it does, we issue the citation, and we also kind of flag them so that we don't rent to them again.
Oh,
May
so
9th
that's it, they don't, if they trash it, they don't come back?
Well, if they leave it
Depending
a
on the
mess.
severity
Yeah,
of it.
right, exactly. I mean, this here, there was a garbage bag laying in the middle of the cabin floor, and they took apart the smoke alarm. They had that disassembled. So
Wow,
probably doing something that they shouldn't have been doing in the cabin. So we,
or stealing the batteries.
And if they don't pay it, you turn it into the district attorney.
It gets issued as a non-traffic citation,
Okay, so it's
and
civil.
if they don't
Yeah.
pay it, then a warrant will be issued for them. Whether they
Right.
ever get picked up on it or not. Most of them pay them, but there's a few that wind up ignoring it. We just had one that was paid. It was from last year. They were caught dumping sheetrock and construction materials in one of our dumpsters. In the evening, the ranger came across, the individual and got the information, and then we followed up, the next day or so with the citation. That one was just paid. Most pay them.
What is the amount?
It varies. It's a floating fine. It could be anywhere up to $600, and that would be depending on the situation and the severity.
And then on security, you also had somebody try to steal catalytic converters off the vehicles.
Yes, yeah, I was about ready to bring that up. That happened. It was Tuesday. Was it Tuesday morning? I guess it was sometime Monday night. The guys noticed that somebody tried to steal the catalytic converter from the maintenance truck. It was hanging underneath. They didn't get it, so. Not sure how good they were, at doing what they were doing, but that we had that issue, come up. So that truck is over at Bernhardt's right now. Jack took it over at Bernhardt's. He believes that he'd be able to, fix it, yeah, with a sleeve or something like that. He had mentioned, without having to go through replacing the whole thing and taking it to a dealership. That was reported to the Jim Thorpe Police Department. They were out. They did a report.
Do you have a camera looking back there?
No, there's lighting. I mean, there's security lighting in the garage out back. There's security lighting in the back of the office. But no, we don't have cameras. We've never really. We were shocked. Really, we never had anything like that happen. But we did. I talked to Jack about let's put all the vehicles and try to get them inside, rather than leaving one out, overnight, So they had to do some maneuvering and moving stuff around as far as mowers and the UTV to make sure we can get all the trucks, parked in the garage overnight. It's unfortunate that something like that would happen, and whether the person got spooked, something spooked them and he got out of there before he was able to take it, because there's cars, believe it or not, that are going in and out of that boat launch at night,
yeah.
And it's patrolled by Jim Thorpe Police. It's patrolled by the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. So I can't believe somebody would do that, especially with it being lit up. We have a training scheduled here for May 19th. It's like a customer service, public relations training that the commissioners have set up in partnership with L-Tri-C, I believe. So that will be here on May 19th. I have eight signed up for the training: seasonal park rangers and seasonal lifeguards. And we did enter into an internship agreement, the county, with Bloomsburg University. For Alec Lauer. He'll be interning with us as a seasonal park ranger from May 21st to July 9th. And then that was it under security.
All right. Special activity request.
All right, we have the Race Street Run on July 3rd. And this is typically they start in downtown Jim Thorpe and it ends. They come out to the park and they turn around at the main gate where the main gate is. That's where they turn around, and then they go back the same way they came, back down the switchback trail and back into Jim Thorpe, and then it ends down in Jim Thorpe. This has been going on for a number of years. St. Mark's and St. John's Episcopal Church has been holding this event for a number of years.
Say Episcopal 3 times fast.
Episcopal. So they have their insurance. Actually, let me see here. Yes, they do have their insurance. And it's July 3rd. Usually the last runner comes through, I would say 9 a.m. That's usually over pretty early in the morning. I know years ago we had some concerns with it being on a busy weekend, with it being July 4th holiday weekend. We haven't had any issues, not to say that we won't, but generally the runners are out and back, by 9 a.m.
It's pretty early. What time do they start?
I'm not sure
They
exactly.
do a staggered start. The short run, I think the 5 kilometer or whatever,
Yeah, I'm gonna meet with the coordinator, the race coordinator, just to see if rather than having painting, you know, I know they put
Right,
painting
right,
down
Right,
to mark like the route, the path, if they could maybe put like either flags,
flags, I would
just
agree
flags
with
in the
that,
ground,
yeah.
something that they could remove. I know the paint washes away, but it does take time for it to
Yeah, no, I would
to
agree
wash
with
away. So that would be the only thing that I would ask is that they put, and the Keystone Ultra, I did meet with him yesterday. That event is the race marathon that was approved previously. That's next weekend already, the Keystone Ultra marathon, and that's what they're doing is they're putting flags in where they can remove them and you know, it doesn't leave any trace.
Just be considerate, again, of what it costs an organization to run one of these. We continue to put burdens on them, maybe unnecessarily, or taken away from the revenue that they would generate. I just ask that to be considered as we think, you know, being considerate if it's water soluble paint and it's gonna dissipate quickly, you know, compared to making them spend $100 to go out and buy 1,000 little flags they have to stick in the ground. And then now you're asking volunteers to spend another day working to support the event. So I just ask to consider that, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
I
Yeah,
see
well,
where
what-
they use lime works well too, and then that washes away.
With that Race Street run too, they have people every so far handing out water bottles. The
Yeah,
problem isn't up this way, it's downtown Jim Thorpe where,
right, yeah, the water stations normally are right there where Flagstaff comes in, and then there was one.
Extension
previously-
office.
Yeah, the extension office.
Yeah, yeah.
Were the two, that I recall, yeah.
Nice. And it sounds like the powwow's on and they have their insurance in order and good to go.
Well, we got, do you wanna do them all at once or do them one at a time?
What's that? The powwow?
Approve them.
Approved.
We're on the
we
Race
gotta
Street run.
approve the Race
Race
Street
Street,
run?
yeah.
Okay,
I'll make a
I'll
motion.
entertain a motion.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay, the Powwow Festival, they do have their special activity. We would have to approve it pending insurance. You know, they don't have their insurance yet, but
Oh, I thought they.
we'll get it.
Okay.
And it's
So-
for September 11th and 12th. They're looking to do it 2 days. I believe it starts at 10 a.m., runs, you know, till roughly 6 p.m. During the day, daytime event. They would have crafters. I think they look to have somebody do food, like a food vendor or two. They do accept donations. That's one thing they ask. They don't charge a fee, but they would like to have a table where, you know, if somebody wanted to give donations, they can give donations. So they're asking if they'd be able to get donations.
Now, their insurance covers all the crafters and food vendors, and it's like,
Yeah, I would imagine.
somebody gets a hot dog and gets sick or something, and that would fall under their,
Yeah, they would have to have insurance for the event. Yeah, they have to have, and there has to be certain wording in there. County has to be named as additional insured, activity being conducted under the permit, sponsor shall provide at sole expense and maintain in full force and effect at all times during the term of this agreement, bodily injury and property damage liability as a minimum in the amount of $1 million. Coverage provided, additional insured coverage shall be primary and non-contributory.
And as far as the donations go, and Dave and I were talking about it, you know, I never have a problem if it's self-contained or amongst their own, but if any group is going out and soliciting beach, you know, that's kind of I'm opposed to any of that.
Yeah, this, to my understanding, would be within the
Yeah,
field area, you know, right, they're not gonna be walking amongst, you know, park patrons.
yeah, you know, like the bike, when Dave Booker used to run Bike Week, remember that? We had him contracted, they used to have their raffles for like $3,000 bikes and rims and stuff like that.
yeah, I had the bike shop back then, and we used to,
Is that right?
oh yeah, we used to
Yeah.
set up here, and
Yeah,
that was quite an event.
yeah, we contracted them for years, that was.
So do
All right, so
we need a motion for the
I'll
Powwow
entertain a
Festival.
motion contingent upon,
Pending a receipt of insurance.
and
Yeah, and neither of these are gonna need Fish and Boat Commission approval. So Earl, you made a motion?
Second.
Well, I was entertaining a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Anyone opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Correspondence.
No, we got the Qigong classes for June, July, and August, Tuesdays on the beach. This was sent down to the commissioners for their review and consideration. I know here it was, I believe it was Rick and Bob were opposed to the Qigong classes on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. at the beach area. Earl, I think, you and Tom were, willing to give it a shot and see how things worked. Originally, she was going to be charging $8 per person, but then she had changed that thought, and rather than charging, kind of do it to promote the activity, and, she had asked that, if somebody wanted to give a donation, she'd be able to accept
All right,
donations.
well, that's a different,
And all these people are gonna pay to get in.
No, because it's at 6 o'clock, so it would be the
Oh,
last.
it would be the last hour
Yeah,
of the
so
day.
we're not charging
Yeah,
admission
yeah,
at
you're
that,
right,
at
you're
that
right.
point, yeah.
You're right.
So we would need a motion to send it down for county approval.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for county approval of the
Qigong classes.
Qigong classes on the beach.
I'll make the motion as a certified yoga instructor, which I am, so I'll make the motion. And I'll check it out as well, so you'll get some feedback.
She's a great lady on the phone. I spoke to her a couple times, getting details and stuff. I mean, she came across very professional and very understanding.
Yeah, I'll check her out too, so I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
because the issue there was charging to
Right,
use
yeah,
it.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was the
yeah.
whole issue there.
And
Yep.
well, for clarity on that, the issue, Bob and everybody, is just, it might set a precedent.
Right,
of
exactly,
Others
yeah.
coming in for retail purposes.
Yeah. I'll second it. Am I allowed to second it?
I'll second it.
Yeah, no, you don't have to, Earl. We got two of us here, so.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right.
And then the only thing under correspondence was the letter from, and I sent that out to everybody to review it, from Tom Phillips, wanting to, look to do some work on the old bridge that's off of Route 902. It's kind of in a grown-in area where the feeder stream comes into the lake. So I did some research on this, and the property is owned by the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. So it would have to go through, and I did talk to Scott Chrisman about this, the local waterways conservation officer, because that stream is designated through DEP Chapter 93, is actually exceptional value up to a certain point, and a high quality cold water fishery. So those stream classifications, exceptional value is as high as you could go, and those areas I know are very well protected. As far as wetland areas, there's native brook trout in there. So it is going to have to go through the Division of Property Services, through the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, which is where I'll refer him. But Scott said he does not believe that he's going to have an easy time, getting in there to do that work, because it is, cutting trees and clearing brush along a stream that's exceptional value, dealing with wetlands. You have to deal with DEP and permitting, which PPL had to deal with for the transmission line. So even something as small as that, and I work for the conservation district, I don't know, and with Chapter 105, and any time you're dealing with streams or wetlands, there's a lot of permitting involved. So that's what I would do, is reach out to Tom Phillips and say, this wouldn't be, our call. It's not our property. You're going to have to
Right.
go through the Fish and Boat Commission.
Can we give our blessings? I mean, I know Tom personally. I know what he does well, and I think his intentions are probably good. I think it would benefit the park, the whole facility as a whole. I don't know. Can we, or shouldn't we not leave it up to the Fish and Boat Commission, should we give our blessings or not? You don't know Tom enough to, I don't know, what are your feelings? I mean, we have trails all around the lake and along the creeks and.
Yeah, I tried to find it. I parked over
The
there.
old bridge.
It's
Yeah.
grown in,
Yeah, I
yeah.
couldn't find
It's
it. I
pretty
didn't
neat.
spend
I
a lot
used
of
to,
time there, but,
When I was a kid, my father would we'd wash the car there. Scoop the water out of the creek and
so
park on that
how
bridge.
exactly do you get there? Do you go in that parking lot at the base across from?
Yeah, cause there's
Red
nowhere
Oaks?
else to park, but then you would walk down the road a bit and cut in. It's right off the existing bridge,
Oh, you have to go down the road. as well.
probably.
Okay.
It's off
'Cause
the
I went in.
highway.
I went in from the parking lot.
Yeah, you could see it if you
Okay.
look, off the existing bridge on the highway, look back in there.
I
There's
see.
an old bridge. There used to be a home back there or a hotel or something.
Yeah, there's some old foundations
Yeah,
back
there
in
was
there.
something pretty neat back
Well,
there.
well, the overriding thing seems to be the Fish Commission, so I think it's a case, are they aware of the request? Or would
No,
you-
I haven't notified the,
That would have to happen anyway, right? We couldn't approve it and then have
No.
to, yeah.
I wouldn't wanna, no, I
No,
wouldn't wanna do
exactly.
that.
Well,
yeah.
Tom knows the route to take, cause he was a PPNL, he worked with PPNL for years,
Mm.
Is he the one who's interested in doing it?
Yeah, Tom Phillips and Bob Durr.
Yeah, he would
So
know.
you would say to them to go to the Fish and Game or what?
Yeah, he would have to get approval from the Fish and Boat Commission, being it's their property, and, obtain
Are you gonna
whatever,
notify him then of that?
obtain whatever necessary permits are involved.
Yeah, but are you gonna notify?
Yeah, I would let him know, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
That
I'm
it?
curious about it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, how about we is that it for the correspondence?
Yes.
A little review of what we went over. Benches on the Flagstaff Trail from the breast of the dam to Flagstaff Road. What are we gonna do? Look for,
We're gonna look into it, yeah.
we're gonna look for, memorial people that may be interested in doing that. No time frame on that, when we might do that?
I'll have
I don't
something
have a
on
time
social
frame.
media by
Okay.
next week on the commissioner's Facebook page.
And the benches on the breast, we're gonna contact the Fish Commission about that.
Jerry Woomer, yeah, he's the engineer that comes in and does the annual dam inspections.
So we'll contact him in the next week or so, or,
Yeah, I could contact him, yeah.
okay, and, kayak boat racks. We're gonna purchase those?
I believe we talked about doing a budget transfer. Yeah, now that we have money back in recreational supplies, we have the purchase requisition submitted, but it can't be approved until we have the funds in place. So we'll do a budget transfer.
Okay, and we're gonna have a safety talk,
Jack with
With
the
Jack?
maintenance leader, yep,
and we're gonna refer Tom Phillips to the
Fish and Boat
Fish and
Commission.
Boat. I make a motion to adjourn.
Not yet.
Hold on for the good of the order. Training for park members is coming up. Are these guys aware of the training that's coming up on
The 19th,
the 19th?
yeah, I discussed that under security,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. How's the camp store doing?
The camp store has not been open, and the wording in the lease agreement, I know you were gonna look into it, I don't know
I
what.
got it, yeah.
what-
It's the
what-
exhibit, so the solicitor will be sending a letter to the concessionaire in regards to meeting his contractual obligations for the camp store.
So you did
That's
get
a
an-
concern of mine, I've been coming out here checking, and it's not been open according to, I think it's the exhibit in the contract.
Right,
Which
right.
is, again, they're missing it big time, so we're gonna send, a solicitor is going to send a letter
Okay.
to him, you know.
And now he will be required to be open, or you didn't get it?
Well, we're gonna send the letter saying, hey, you need to be in compliance. If he doesn't get in compliance,
Right.
then I'm gonna push for termination of the contract, and we'll look for someone else to pick it up. Because if he's not being open, we continue to get a black eye on Google reviews, because the camp store isn't open. It's unfair to us, it's unfair to the people who are paying for an expected service associated with.
Yeah, you'll have to hurry up and get someone else in here to fill that spot.
Yeah, well, and again, have some thoughts about who might be very interested in doing it. We'd like to probably, again, should this fall into place, you know, who would you look for? Maybe someone who already has a concession in the park would be, you know, because they have economies of scale and stuff like that. But again, one step at a time. Let's get the letter of notification.
So when you send a letter, though, you gotta give them like 30 days to get into compliance. And then if that doesn't happen, then it has to go out for bid, correct?
I am sure there are emergency clauses that allows the county to bring in someone to meet a requirement pretty darn quick.
Yeah,
Again,
that's been an ongoing problem.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
store, and it's like
Yeah.
ridiculous, to be honest with that.
Yeah, and it does seem to be the biggest concern of people on the
it
reviews.
really is, and it's
Yeah.
so unfair to them, you know, and we hear it, and I, you know, I see it because I look at all the reviews
Yeah.
online. Did we not get any, requests for the activities director?
No.
No, okay, could we, could you guys talk to Sue about, some activities again this summer?
Sure,
Like she
yeah.
did last summer, the team here did a great job, down at the lake.
Yeah.
Coming in once a week.
I did submit the paperwork to the SLIP program and the Summer Youth Employment Program.
Oh,
You know, for seasonal maintenance, help lifeguards, but also the
good.
special activities position that we were thinking of. Now, one of our park rangers, you know, I reached out to him. He did express interest in it.
Yeah.
He was sent the application. I'm not sure whether he had submitted it or not yet.
And the capacity limits, we're gonna keep that at 700 plus season pass holders.
That you know, that's what. I mean, my thought is this is 700. I know that the governor lifted restrictions beginning on Memorial Day weekend. You know, my thought was just to keep it at 700 at the beginning of the season and see how it goes. You know, we could always make adjustments if we feel we need to make adjustments. It's kind of like the unknown at this point.
And keep in mind too, we brought up the lifeguard situation, right? And again, once you get those numbers, right, you're either shutting down areas or you're having, you know, one lifeguard to 300 instead of, you know, or versus 1 to 500, whatever the observation is. So there's the quality of the experience that Bob knows from last one, that influences the numbers, and also the safety consideration when it comes to being in flux with the amount of lifeguards that would always already be available, so.
Yeah, but if you have these people that bought, whether they live here or not, I don't care if you came from Pakistan, if you bought a season pass, right, you shouldn't be denied entry. You know what I'm saying? So if you hit that 700, the season pass holder should still be allowed to get in.
You know, in theory, I don't disagree with that. You know, that, again, I think we imbue our park attendants with certain left and right limits and give them kind of good judgment. You know, we're not looking at 700, you know, because what if there's 699 and 2 people come in a car?
Right.
It's just like we're at 700 and maybe someone comes who has a season pass. Tell you what, I'm gonna make a judgment call. And again, better to seek forgiveness than ask permission sometimes, you know, and again, I'm not legalistic, you know, again, Dave runs the park at the end of the day though, that's his call, and guidance he provides, the folks, you know, but I agree. You know.
Yeah, I would look to accommodate members.
Yeah.
And another thing is you don't. It's impossible to know how many people are
Are
leaving.
real,
Yeah.
coming and going.
You know,
Yeah.
so I don't
You're
know.
not gonna walk around there with a clicker
No.
and,
Right, count
right,
every hour,
uh-huh.
right.
So I would say that we would look to accommodate
Yeah.
members.
Yeah, so could we have an update, I hate to say it, we have an update on number of season passes? You know, is it higher than last year, is it on track to meet the same number, any idea?
it's kind of on track to be where we're normally at
Yeah.
before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Last year, last year I think we were on pace for a record year of memberships.
Right.
But then everything got shut down, and then
Yeah.
and everything just came to a complete stop.
Yeah, that
so
was artificial though also, because we told people, well, unless you have a
Yeah.
membership, you won't be able to have access, and therefore that was the impetus or motivation for some to get it who would otherwise not have gotten it at all.
Yeah, because I know last year there were people like from Bethlehem and that had the season passes, and they were, yeah.
Yeah. And we've had that,
Yeah.
in previous years, we've had people purchasing memberships from, outside the county, Slatington, Walnutport, and, New Ringgold. Quite a big area actually where people purchase beach tags, memberships, is
Yeah.
what we call them. But I would say, yeah, we're on pace for a good year, memberships wise, compared to over last year. Right now, I think it's like roughly $5,500 more this year compared with last year at this time. Cabin rentals is up about 48,000
Yeah.
compared with last year. Tent camping rentals is up over 40,000, roughly 41,000 compared with last year. Overall, at this point, right now, at this time, we're up about $107,000 over
Well, if we
last
have good
year.
weather, this is gonna be a
So-
record year, people wanna be back outside,
Yeah.
wanna be doing things.
Yeah, that's the trend everywhere
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Pavilions are up over 5,000. So when you look at cabin rentals, tent camping rentals, memberships, pavilion rentals, right now compared with last year at this time, we're up about $107,000.
Whatever happened to the triathlon that used to be here every summer?
I can't remember, to be honest with you. I think they're actually not even open anymore. Hazelton YMCA.
Oh, is that who had it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
I
nice
think they
event.
filed
Yeah, I
for
used to like
bankruptcy.
that.
Yeah.
They closed.
Well, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.